1067 The Fan presents.
Are you ready?
Mixed martial arts. And now, 3, 2, 1. It's time for the show.
It's dark and hell is hot. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when it's on. Cause when it's on, we can gonna be gone every time. Cause we don't play.
1067 The Fan and 1067thefandc.com. My name is Othello Boucher, and you're tuned into a very special episode of Mixed Martial Arts. I am super excited about our next guest. If you're a fan of mixed martial arts and the UFC, you have to love this guy. Forrest Griffin joins the show. Forrest, what's up, bud?
Not much. You don't have to love me. It's optional.
Well, you should. I know you're on to promote UFC 123, which is happening this weekend, 10 p.m. on pay-per-view. But you have your own fight coming up. How's training going so far?
Well, it hasn't. I'm in Detroit.
Really?
Detroit. Yeah, I'm just trying to trying to not get sick so I can get back to work here.
Jeez. When you do go back to training, how do you think, what are you going to fine-tune to prepare for a Rich Franklin?
Well, the big thing is just work with guys that are a little quicker than I am and with southpaws,
Right. Again, Franklin, he knocked out Chuck Liddell back in June, but right before that, he was knocked out himself by Vitor Belfort. Do you think Franklin is as dangerous as he looked in that win over Liddell? A lot of people are saying that it was potentially, Chuck's last fight and that he shouldn't have been there in the first place. But, it's the Iceman nonetheless.
I put it like this. I worked out with Vitor, and, Vitor's about to fight Anderson. And on the right day, Vitor can beat anybody in MMA, just on hand speed alone. And the other thing is you got to think, they're both southpaws. That doesn't have a whole lot of relation to me.
Now, Liddell is 40. I think Randy Couture is 47, 48. What do you think about guys like this that are, nearly twice as old as a lot of fighters and still competing in the sport?
It's ridiculous because people are like, "You're going to fight till you're 40?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm dying, I'm falling apart, man. Come on."
Assuming that you maintain, pretty good health, how long do you think you're going to fight?
Well, see, that's the thing is I would have told you a lot longer, but I haven't maintained good health.
Right. I understand. I actually wanted to get your take on Herschel Walker and the fact that he's fighting now. Clearly his background in mixed martial arts is, it doesn't compare to Couture's and Chuck Liddell's, but what do you think of him fighting professionally? Do you think it's good for the sport?
Wait, who are you talking about?
Herschel Walker.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't hurt the sport. It brings new fans in. It's interesting.
Rampage is fighting this weekend, and you defeated him to get the light heavyweight championship. He's fighting this weekend against Lyoto Machida. What do you think are some keys to beating Rampage?
Well, with Machida, it's going to be that quickness in and out, beating them with speed. And I think if he can get one of those little low-energy trip takedowns, kind of like he does, if he could get on top of Quentin, I think he could, have essentially submit her or something.
Right.
Inverse, for Quentin, I think he's got to be in good shape, which, after taking so much time off to do the movie and so much ring rust, he kind of needs to get that out of his system. And he's got to land one of those shots, He's got he's got knockout power in both hands, and he's got to put one of those hands on him, which isn't going to be easy to do with Machida.
Your last fight was against Tito Ortiz, and you won, obviously. He hasn't won a fight since 2006. He's lost 2 since his return to the UFC. Why do you think he's been struggling so much, and what do you think his chances are of beating Little Nog at UFC 128?
Oh, I didn't even know he was fighting 128.
That is what they're reporting. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but that's what I'm reading everywhere.
Here's the thing. Let's break Tito Ortiz down for a second. Outside of Quentin Jackson, he's fought Quentin Jackson and Shogun. Outside of those 2 fighters, he's fought every light heavyweight champ in the last decade, including the first one, Frank Shamrock.
Right.
Think about it. He fought me. He fought everybody. There's nobody he didn't fight. Chuck, Randy. The list goes on and on. Vanderlei. He fought everybody.
he's a beast. He's just hasn't been bringing it like he used to.
Well, you know, he's gotten older, and the sport has evolved a little bit. You know, it's kind of, you know, he had a great style. It worked for many years. Nobody could stop it, but you know, the game is adapted. It's a very, you know, MMA is still in its infancy, and it's you know, it's still changing, and better athletes are coming in that are younger with you know, a broader skill set.
Right.
You know, I'm suffering through the same thing. It's just one of those things, man.
One semi-recent fight I wanted to ask you about was Anderson Silva. I mean, clearly the guy's an amazing fighter, one of the best in the world. If you were scheduled to fight him again, how would you prepare, and what would you do that you didn't do last time?
Page 32 of my book. Of course you'd ask me that.
I mean, I got to.
I want you to know I mean it.
What's that?
Well, what you're going to read. It applies directly to you. You're going to read page 32 of my book?
Oh, okay. Does it say something negative about me?
Oh, yes. It's going to explain everything perfectly.
I mean, it's a recent fight. I think it's fair to ask you about that.
No, it's been over a year. It's not that recent.
All right, so you want me to stay away from any talk of Anderson Silva?
No, go for it. Do it.
I just wanted to see how you would prepare for it, and what would you change if you were to fight him again that you didn't do last time?
I would probably poison him beforehand with some sort of drug that would make him slower.
One last question before I let you go. I was actually at that fight at UFC 101 in Philly. I was a little upset because one of the things I look forward to when you fight are your post-fight interviews, because you're very candid and pretty funny. How come you didn't stick around for that this time?
Let me tell you what. Me and you are never going to be friends. Don't friend me. All right.
All right.
Later.
Wow. He just hung up. I thought the questions were fair. Whatever. Anyways, that was Forrest Griffin. Really nice guy. I appreciate him coming on the show. This is Mixed Martial Arts. Thank you for tuning in. Till next time.